Yo, well, we are back with another episode, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got the NFL to talk about, WNBA, NBA preseason kicked off today. So this is a great time for us sports fans. You know how we doing here. We're getting the show started nice and early. We're getting started with the NFL recap, man. Some great football was played. Tonight, week 5 kicks off. And the NFC West battle between the Niners and the Rams. You know we're going to get into that. But let's talk about this Sunday and everything that went down this Sunday in the NFL, man. There's a lot of good football going on, a lot of good games. Shout out to the Patriots for getting a win, beat up on the Panthers. I don't care. They won. Let's look at some of these scores, man. If you're a Ravens fan, I feel bad for you because that's what we're kicking it off. We're starting with you, Ravens fan. The Ravens flop. There is some conversations we need to have because the Chiefs beat up on them. And when I say they beat up on them, it wasn't even a fair fight. They just pummeled them. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. Lamar Jackson is hurt. They're talking about he might be out for 3 weeks. So if you got Lamar Jackson on your fantasy team, that's going to mess you up. If you got Derrick Henry hasn't been looking too good. He over here with a fumbling problem. The Ravens defense is mucho galante basura. I'm going to tell you this here right now. After this season, the Ravens need to think about their future and what the future holds for them. Because me personally, I think it's time for them to trade everybody, trade that whole team. It's time to start from scratch, man. When you have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrew, I know Isaiah Likely's coming back. I know you've been dealing with injuries on your defense. But when you got corners who can't cover, safeties who can't cover, a D-line that can't get pressure, an O-line that looks lost and confused out there, just letting players just run up in the hole like it ain't nothing, looking like Moses when he departed to see the way they're getting pressure. What are you going to do? John Harbaugh is still living over that Super Bowl that happened, 10, 15 years ago? What have the Ravens done? They haven't done anything. They're mid. It's okay. If I'm the Baltimore Ravens, this is a throwaway season. You're not winning your division. That's cooked. Looks like Pittsburgh is taking that division over. You're tied at the bottom of the division right now with the Browns. Y'all both 1-3. I mean, Cincinnati's going to be down there too. Now, this might be the AFC North might be the worst division in football right now. This current season, they're the worst division in football. You got Cincinnati. Joe Burrow goes down. That offense is terrible. They already didn't have a defense. You look at Baltimore. They struggling on the offense side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And Cleveland is a dumpster fire right now. We know this, a dumpster fire. They're starting Billy and Gabriel, who they drafted, their rookie. Because Joe Flacco is as old as dirt. He went to school with Moses, Jacob. He went to school with all of them, man. He saw the first Big Bang, all right? The man was moving like molasses. I don't know why it's taking this long to start the rookie. So you start the rookie, throw him in the fire, see what you got. So the Browns more likely going to have a top 10 pick this season again. Because they just can't get it right. They allowed not Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes to basically have the game of his life. This is insane. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they allowed Patrick Mahomes to throw for 270 yards with a 67 completion. And he threw 4 tutties on them. 4 tutties, man. That's insane. They still can't run the ball. Isaiah Pacheco, 7 attempts for 35 yards, averaging 5. Kareem Hunt was mucho galante basura. I don't know what he was doing. He wasn't running nowhere. He had 13 attempts for 34 yards. I don't know what you supposed to do with that. But Xavier Worthy looked it good on his 5 targets for 83 yards. That was beautiful to see. He was targeted 8 times. Hollywood Brown had a touchdown. Juju had a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco had a touchdown. And Thornton had a touchdown. But Patrick Mahomes is spreading the ball well, spreading the ball out. Make sure getting everybody involved, man. Chiefs can't run the ball. They have a running the ball problem. In the NFL, if you can't run the ball, you're going to struggle. And we know this. You have to be able to run the football. If you can't run the football in the NFL, your offense is going to struggle off that. If you can't at least get 3.5 yards a carry, at least that, you're going to have to pass the ball at least 35 plus times a night. And realistically, you don't want to do that. You're putting the ball in harm's way, throwing way too many passes. Excuse me. Throwing way too many passes. I think the Chiefs are one of the worst teams at running the football. Let me double check to make sure what I'm telling you is true, because I don't want nobody saying I lied to them. But yeah, the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes looked back to himself. I still don't believe in this team. I still believe they're losing that division. I still believe that. Excuse me. So I still believe the Chiefs are not it, and they're struggling. I don't think this is a good year for them. I think we're seeing the fall off of the dynasty once again. I don't think the Chiefs are still making the playoffs, of course, but as far as actually contending for a Super Bowl, I don't think they're one of the Super Bowl contending teams. The Chiefs right now ranked 19th in NFL, 110 yards per game. That's their rushing yards, 110 per game. So they're 19th. So they're like bottom of the league, kind of ish. They're middle of the pack. Per play, the Chiefs are 19th with 4.3 rush yards per play. And for rushing touchdowns right now, the Chiefs are number 17th in the league with 3. So they're okay rushing the ball. They're middle of the pack. Ain't that great, but hey. I thought it was worse than it wasn't. But shout out to the Chiefs, man. I still don't think I don't think they're running the ball effectively like they should. I think most teams aren't respecting their run at all. I don't think that run is generating a lot of offense. But yeah, shout out to the Chiefs, man, for beating up on the Ravens, who are mucho galante basura this year. And now Lamar Jackson, so I don't know how they're gonna win their next 3 games. It should be fun and interesting to watch what happens there. Another team we have to talk about is the Los Angeles Chargers. They lost to the Giants. And the Giants, as we know, is mucho galante basura. That was their first one this season. The Giants were getting a lot of pressure on Justin Herbert. Abdul Carter was just a menace. That O-line was mucho galante basura. Justin Herbert looked sloppy. It looks like he couldn't get the passes where he needed to be. His receivers couldn't open. I don't know why Ladd looks like a wide receiver 3. It's starting to irritate me, especially if you have him in fantasy. Yeah, Ladd looking like wide receiver 3 right now. Look like Quinn Johnson's number 1, Keenan Allen's 2, and somehow Ladd's number 3. I need him to pick it up, get the show on the road, because he's costing me games in fantasy. But Justin Herbert threw the ball 41 times for 203 yards. He had a horrible 56 completion percentage, which is just bad. He had 1 touchdown to 2 picks. His QBR was a 53.7. Mucho Galante Basura. Omar Hampton was the only bright spot. Well, one of the bright spots in this offense. He ran. This was his breakout game, I'm going to call it. The man had a $128 on the ground for a touchdown. He's averaging a first down every time he touched the ball at 10.6. His longest run was 54, and he had 2 runs where he got 20 plus yards on the run. Ladd and Justin Herbert weren't on the same page at all. Because out of the 6 targets, only 1 made it to Ladd. Ladd only caught 1 reception for 11 yards. Quinn Johnson is having a resurgence season. I don't know what got into his blood or what happened in this offseason for him to act like the way he acting. But I never, ever seen this brother act like this before. This was Mr. Butterfingers. This man couldn't catch a common cold even if he tried in Antarctica with no clothes on. Right? He had 8 receptions off of 13 targets for 98 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, he had 5 receptions, 37 yards. Omar Hampton, he had 5 receptions, 37 yards off of 5 targets. I think for the Chargers, right? They need to feed Omar Hampton the ball more. I think he needs to be running the ball more, involved in the passing plays more. Overall, I just think he just needs to be more involved in the offense. But for the Chargers to lose this game, it's not a good look for the Chargers. They were looking dominant, and then they had this game where I don't know. You let the rookie Jackson Dart play. He threw for 111 yards. He had a 6-5 completion and a touchdown, which is not bad for a rookie that was thrown in the fire. Scatterboo, Abubu, Labubu, whatever the brother's name is, he had 25 attempts for 79 yards. His longest run was 16. Jackson Dart also rushed 10 times for 54 yards, and he got a touchdown. Darius Slayton was the number 1 wide receiver. Unfortunately, Malik Neighbors got hurt in this game. So fantasy owners, if you have Malik Neighbors, unfortunately, he's out for the season. Y'all know this. So now you have to find production from other wide receivers from your waiver. I don't know how big y'all leagues are. This is going to be a big loss for the Giants and their offense. His offense is going to have to change a bit. The philosophy, you're losing your number 1 wide receiver. Can Darius Slayton step up in that number 1 wide receiver role? Will it be Darius Slayton or Wendell Robinson? Who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver? You also have Theo Johnson, I think his name is, the tight end. So Jackson Dart loses his number 1 weapon, his number 1 receiver. Now we're going to have to see how this offense is going to function. Jackson Dart, lucky for him, teams don't have a lot of film on him in the NFL. They can only go off of this one game, so it's going to be hard to scheme against him. But when you lose your number 1 wide receiver, like they just did, like the Giants just did, that's out for the season, where's your production going to come from? Who's going to step up for the Giants? Who's going to be that player for Jackson Dart? Who's Jackson Dart going to trust the most in this offense? Darius Slayton is your best big play weapon and receiver. Darius Slayton is your best bet. Wendell Robinson, I think he can fit in as that good number 2 role, but I think Slayton will be the number 1 in this offense. You have the tight end Theo Johnson. You have Scatterboo, Labubu, whatever the brother's name is. You got him back behind you. But it's going to be interesting how this offense is and how it's going to function. The Giants are going to be a top 10 team for a pick. We all know this. They probably get a top 5 pick, depending on how bad they are. But yeah. Chargers, this was a pathetic loss, but yeah, need to be better. Justin Herbert played sloppy. He could have been better. This wasn't Justin Herbert that we saw from the first 3 weeks of football. Yeah, but he. Then can we talk about the other? This wasn't much of a football game. Uh, Michael Phoenix decided to have a breakout game. I don't know what got into this brother in this particular game, but he went crazy. 20 of 26 for 313 yards, 76 completion. He was averaging 12 yards per pass, which is basically a first down. He threw 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He had a 126 rating. BJ Robinson, the best running back in the league, had 17 attempts for 75 yards and touchdowns. He's averaging 4.4. Tyler Alleger, whatever the brother name is, 6 attempts for 51 yards and a touchdown. 19 was his longest. He was averaging 3 yards a carry. They have a nice 1-2 punch with Bijan and Tyler. That's a nice little 1-2 punch they got there. He's a good fantasy pickup for deeper leagues. I'm talking about 12 plus teams. He's somebody you should have on your roster if you don't. But the fact that you had 2 receivers go over 100 yards. Drake London had 110 for a touchdown. Off of 10 targets, he caught 8. His longest catch was for 43 yards. And then Bijan had 4 receptions for 106 yards off of 5 targets. And his longest was 69 yards. Kyle Pitts even got in onto the party. He had 5 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown. The Washington Commanders defense, mucho caliente basura. I don't know what they had going on with, but it wasn't it. They was getting fried, cooked, torched, sauteed with extra onions. Marcus Mariota stepped in the game. He did not look good. 156 yards, 59 completion, 2 touchdowns, and a interception. I mean, you can't do much against that offense. The Falcons did good in their draft with their rookie linemen, D linemen. They're able to get pressure on the quarterback and all that. Chris Rodriguez had 7 attempts for 59 yards. Jay Crosby had 7 attempts for 47 yards. So for all you Redskin fans, the Commanders, and people who play fantasy owners, it looks like this is going to be a split backfield between Chris Rodriguez and Krosky Meredith. So I don't know who's. Yeah, it's going to be a split back basically. So you're going to need to roster both of them on your roster. I'm thinking they're going to lean more toward Chris Rodriguez. I think he's the better running back at pure runner of the football. But Krosky Meredith's a better pass catcher. So I don't know how this is going to work. But it looks like they're going to have like a 50-50 split, maybe a 40-60 split. But that backfield is going to be very split. Shout out to Debo. He had 72 yards off of 6 targets for 6 receptions and a touchdown. Luke McCaffrey got involved. He had 2 receptions for 29 yards and a touchdown. Yeah. But yeah, the Falcons just beat up on them. The game was over before it even started. The defense, the Commanders' defense couldn't do nothing. Michael Phoenix Jr. must have heard me talking smack about him and decided to just shut me up because he played out his mind. But again, he was playing, I would say, a very mediocre defense at best. A mid defense. Let's see what other games we had on the slate that were interesting. The Titans got shut out by the Texans, 36-0. Yeah. I don't know how you do that. Couldn't get nothing. Nothing was working for them at all. Like Cam Ward said, I'm going to keep it a buck. We ass. Yes, the Titans is ass. Muso Galente Basura. For you to get shut out like that is insane work. I'm not going to lie to y'all. That's nasty, nasty work for y'all to get shut out like that. The Patriots beat on the Panthers. Top 5 quarterback in the league, Drake May, went crazy. They put up 42 on the Panthers. Bryce Young is not that guy. He's just not that guy. So the Panthers have to seriously think about what they're gonna do with Bryce Young. Because you got Ted, you got a big wide receiver, a playmaker, who I think has the potential in the future to be a top 10 to 15 wide receiver. He's on his way to superstardom. And that's all you really got on offense. I don't know what else there is on offense for that team. Bryce Young, 18 for 30 for 150, 60 completion yards for a touchdown. He averaged 5 yards per throw. Chuba Hubbard, 10 for 49. ETN had 7 carries for 33 yards. Rico Dowell, 9 for 32. So they had 28 attempts for 129 yards. Ted had 4 receptions for 62 yards. Trimble had 5 for 42 and a touchdown. Tremaine had 3 for 36, and Evans had 3 for 23. Yeah, this offense is mucho galante basura. I don't even know who the number 2 is. That's how bad the offense is. All I know is Tet and everybody else. Shout out to the 14 people that's in the building right now. Appreciate y'all for coming in. Yeah. Carolina, another top 5 pick incoming. Drake May, 14 for 17, 203 yards, 82 completion, averaging almost 12 yards per pass, 2 touchdowns. We have the mid Ramondre Stevenson. Please get this running back off my team because he is garbage. He had 9 for 38. He was averaging 4.2. You had Henderson, 7 for 32. Antonio Gibson, 6 for 27. Trayvon Henderson, he needs more playing time. He needs to be starting over Ramondre. But hey, what do I know? He's clearly the better back. Diggs had a breakout game. If he's somehow still on your free agent wire, go pick him up, please. Because he's that guy. He has 6 receptions off of 7 targets for a grand total of 101 yards. That's a league winner right there, boy. Hunter Henry had 2 targets for 39 yards. Alex Hooper caught a catch for 24 yards. Trayvon Henderson had 2 for 14. And Keyshawn Butte had 1 for 18. But yeah, they just beat up on them. It was a massacre. It was crazy. Shout out to my Pats, man. We the second best team in our division. No, when we get some receivers, it's over for y'all. I just want y'all to know that. We up, baby. We back up again. You just gotta give us some time, but we gonna get there. Shout out to the 15 people that's in the building right now. Eagles, Buccaneers. The Eagles, of course, slugged out that game. They were BSing like they normally do. Baker threw a crucial interception that ended the game for them. Colts and Rams. The Colts streak get broken. Wuka Anuku, the best receiver in the game right now. He had, if I'm not mistaken, over 100 yards in the first quarter alone. First half. He had 13 receptions for 170 yards, a touchdown for 15 targets. One thing about Matthew Stafford, he gonna make a wide receiver. They always had their best season with him when he had Calvin Johnson. Easy, a top 5 wide receiver in the game. He played with what's his name? He played for Seattle Seahawks. So I can't think of this guy's name. Played for the Seahawks. Why am I having a brain fart right now? Of course, I have a brain fart at the worst times. Cooper Kupp, that's his name. Bear with me. Sorry about that, everybody. But he had Cooper Kupp. He got a triple count with Cooper Kupp. He was the best wide receiver in the league. Did something historical on a historical list. And now he got Puka Nuka looking like a top 5 wide receiver who's on pace to have the first 2,000-yard catching season. Puka's on pace to have break the record for most receptions and most yards in a single season. He's on pace for that. The man had 13 receptions for 170. They could not guard the man. The man just knows how to get open. He understands angles. He knows how to angle his body to get in front of the defender to make catches. He knows how to use his feet to misguide you, to misguide corners that have them looking lost on the field, like they don't know what's going on. Shout out to Puka Nuka, man. Went crazy. Matthew Stafford threw for almost 400 yards that game, man. 375, 70 completion percentage with 3 touchdowns. Yeah, shout out to him, man. Daniel Jones did not have a good game. 262, 72 completion. He had 1 touchdown and threw 2 picks. Jonathan Taylor, 17 attempts for 76 yards. Donnie Mitchell, Mr. Butterfingers, who missed 2 crucial and critical drops. He had 2 of them. The man had Butterfingers. I don't know, the man needs latex, some glasses, some. I don't know what the brother need. But he had 2 crucial drops. The man had Butterfingers. The man act like he didn't know how to use his hands or something. I don't know. Warren had 5 for 70. Pittman had 5 for 41. Downs had 4 for 24. John Taylor had 5 for 20. This was a good win for the Rams. They're a top 3 team, obviously, in the NFC. The NFC is kind of weak this year. I believe they're a top 3 team. Argue the wall. Any other important game? 49ers lost to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence had a solid game. Bears beat the Raiders. The Raiders do not look good. I don't know what Geno Smith got going on. Shout out to Ashton Genty for having his breakout game on the ground. Shout out to him. Oh, this is it. And let me tell y'all something, especially this NFL. Games should not end in ties. I need a winner and a loser. Why are games ending in ties? We had the second highest scoring game in overtime in NFL history. Second most highest scoring game. 40-40. It was a lock. And you mean tell me that game ended in tie? No, this ain't soccer. Life don't work like that. You got to have a winner and a loser. It's just that simple. Dak is playing out of his mind. He's playing like a top 5 quarterback once again in this season. The Cowboys defense is so bad that they're going to have to play from behind, that Dak is going to have to play at an elite level. Dak is going to have to air out that ball. The Packers were not getting no pressure on that. Dak was picking apart that defense like it wasn't nothing. George Pickens was out there looking like a true number 1. He said, "This is my show. I'll run it now. I know you hurt. This is still your team. But for right now, I'm the captain." He had a solid game, making big plays after big plays. Ferguson, Mr. Old Reliable, like an upgraded Jason Wynn these days. Dak was giving him the ball. Dak was spreading. They were able to run the ball. But what this game came down to, neither defense could get a stop to say their life. Both defenses were getting torched all game. That's why we had a high-scoring game, 40-40. I give credit to the Cowboys because I thought they was going to get blown out. I didn't think this was going to be much of a game. I thought they was going to come on the floor and get bullied. I thought they were going to get blown out the water. But nah, that ain't happening. We got to stop with these ties. These ties have to stop. Like, I don't know why we got these ties, but these ties have to stop. The Bengals. There's another team that needs a tank. By the way, Patrick Surtain clamped up that boy, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase was in bondage. That boy was on a padded cell Arn still throw 8 locks on it. That boy can't go nowhere, anywhere without Patrick Surtain. Hello, how you doing? You think you open? No. I'm here. We gon' This is everywhere on the field. Jamar Chase gonna get nothing going. They mustered up a field goal that whole game. That's all they got. They have a serious problem too. I don't understand if you're the Bengals why you don't draft a left tackle. The most important position on the line, the left tackle, which protects the quarterback's blind side. If I'm the Bengals this season in the draft, rounds 1 through 4, I'm going straight lineman. I don't care about any other position. I'm going straight lineman. 1 through 4, I'm getting lineman. Joe Burrow keeps getting hurt, and the main reason he's getting hurt is because that O-line couldn't stop a parked car. They couldn't block a turtle from falling down in slow motion. They can't block nothing or nobody. So instead of spending your money on this offense, spending your money on a Jamar Chase, spending your money on a T. Higgins, spending your money on Joe Burrow, understand they do need to get paid. But you need to rework these contracts around your cap so you go get other players. You can't even play your best pass rusher right now. He's on a 1-year deal, and he's probably going to walk. You got him on a rental. Your best passer. You already left Jesse Bates, who's one of your best defenders. The only thing that your secondary had. You let him walk. The Bengals are forever going to be a poverty franchise till they get their crap and act together. In football, you need to, instead of, you can find another number 2 wide receiver. That T. Higgins should have been the last year because should have let him walk. I understand paying Jamar Chase all that money, but you should have scaled it back some. I understand paying Joe Burrow. He's your franchise quarterback. The name of the game is you're going to pay your quarterback what you pay your quarterback. It is what it is. But for y'all to pay T. Higgins, that's ridiculous. The Bengals is one of the worst sports franchises I've ever seen. They don't care about anything. They don't care about winning. They don't care about seats. Joe Burrow took that sorry team to the Super Bowl, and that team hasn't been right since. Even when he took that sorry team to the Super Bowl, the team wasn't that great. He just made it better than what it was. He can't play full season because Cincinnati don't know how to draft linemen. They don't know what linemen are. I'm just convinced they don't know what linemen or the defense is. Pretty soon you're going to pay your running back Chase Brown. What you going to do when you have to pay him? So if I'm the Bengals, T. Higgins, I'm trading you. We can't trade. Listen, matter of fact, I'm gonna have to fight and sell everything myself. If your name is not Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, or Chase Brown, you on the trade block. Because I need an O-line. First, I need to win in the trenches. If I can't win in the trenches, what am I here? I'm just existing? You need an O-line. So in this draft, they need to draft straight linemen for at least 4 straight rounds. Straight linemen. Because you're probably going to be bad this season. You're probably going to be a top 10 pick this season. And if I'm the Bengals, I'm really contemplating about trading everybody on this team. This season is not salvageable unless you go trade for a Jameis Winston who's chilling on the bench in the Giants. You need a capable backup quarterback because the one you got, he ain't it. And with this offense and the weapons you have, a Jamar Chase, a T. Higgins, Chase Brown, if you get a serviceable quarterback, I think you could somewhat salvage your season. But then again, why do you want to salvage your season when you're guaranteed top pick? The Bengals is one. I don't understand the logic. They have to be better. So we're gonna switch gears and talk about the WNBA. Nafisa Collier aired out the room. She said, "Stop playing with us. We here." I'm gonna play a clip. Give me 1 second while I get the clip so we can play it. So I could play it. Okay, let me get this on the screen so we can all see this. Full screen.
Thank you all for your time today. I have prepared a statement that I would like to make before taking any questions. All right. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. I'm kind of out of breath. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Kathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating. And it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine. It's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you.
Yeah, Fees. Yeah, Queen Fee. Yeah, talking that talk. If you're a fan of WNBA, watch it. Just know it's gonna be a lockout. That just was icing on the cake. It's inevitable at this point. And the biggest problem with the WNBA is going to be they're going to have to fire Kathy Eagerbong. Don't know the girl's name. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. I'm butchering it. It is what it is. She needs to be fired. The officiating in the WNBA is horrible. I'm talking about, I think refs, I think they got Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles out there reffing games. Helen Keller could see half of what's going on and can hear what's going on. This is the worst officiating I've ever seen in any major sport. And it's not even close. I understand that the refs in that league, I don't know if they're undertrained. I don't know if they just want to be petty. I don't know what goes on with them refs there. I don't know if they're jealous of the NBA refs because they're getting pampered more. The NFL refs, they're getting more paid more. They get nicer hotels, nicer meals. I don't know. But this is what I do know. Y'all might need some glasses. Y'all need to get your eyes checked, your ears checked, because some of y'all don't know what the heck y'all doing. Y'all don't know what a foul is. Y'all miss calls. I just don't understand how you can be that bad at reffing. It's a hard job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not. But some of these calls, it's like they're deliberately missing on purpose, which is causing injury to players, which is causing the game, is doing disservice to the game because now players are getting agitated and aggravated. Their tempers are flailing. The physicality is getting more out of hand than it should be. Yes, the W is a physical league. If you ever watch a WNBA game, they're very physical women. They're more physical than the men. Like if you ever played basketball with women athletes, they're more physical than men. I'm talking about you're getting elbows, you're getting body checked, you're getting there's a very physical element to it, right? They're not gonna let you come in and paint all willy-nilly. They're not gonna let you cut through the lane all willy-nilly. Playing with men in basketball, they are less physical. You know, sometimes they want to be lazy on defense. They let you slide with things. Sometimes it's not as physical. But that's neither here nor there. Kathy telling them only losers cry because of the refs, for only losers cry for missed calls, that's nasty. You should never say that. Saying you should be glad that Caitlin Clark is even in the league because without her she wouldn't be nothing, that's nasty. That's a flat out lie. One of the biggest problems with the W is, then don't advertise their league. They're not good at that. They need more. They're bringing in revenue, okay? Before the Caitlin Clark class, before Caitlin Clark, the Angel Reeses, Camila Cordoza, Lakia Jackson, Paige Beckers, Sonia Citron, Kiki, and so on and so forth. These last two rookie class has made the sport more popular. You have more people coming to the sport. More men are watching the game, whether they be a casual fan or a fan that's been watching. They're actually watching the game of basketball. They are following these women from college, the rivalries in college, and they're coming to the WNBA with this new product. And unfortunately, the WNBA, they have a lot of scheduling conflicts with their games. Sometimes their games, it might be during when a football game is on, or a baseball game, or a basketball game, and you need to fix that scheduling or something. But what Nafisa's saying is true. What's going to happen, as if some of y'all know or don't know, I don't know, but I'm going to tell you anyways. She has her own league in the summer, unrivaled, 3v3. These women have equity in that league. So she's paying, they're getting them. Some of those players are making more than making in the W as professional players. So in Unrivaled, during the summertime, they play in the league, 3v3. They're getting endorsement deals. Everybody's buying into it. They're getting what they deserve. They have equity into the league. So that means that they're getting a portion of what the league makes. So Nafisa has given them a platform to make more money, do what they love. They don't have to go overseas no more. Now they could play home, make extra money in America, and then get ready for the WNBA season. So when this lockout happens, your star players in the W more than likely gonna go to play in Unrivaled, and Unrivaled is just gonna get more money. They're gonna get bigger and expand, which probably might lead into them finding a 5v5 actual league, start a league of their own. Right now it's a 3v3, fun to watch. If you love basketball or you like the W, it's a very fun and entertaining league to watch. So all Kathy is doing, what she doesn't realize is, because I don't know if she just want to be ignorant or she's slow, I don't know. You're helping Nafisa league grow more, get more popular, and you're going to lose more players. You're heading toward a lockout. And like, the NBA has had lockout seasons. And when you, like any business, when you have a lockout, when players are not showing the work because they're not getting paid right, you're losing money. Now you're going to be losing more money. These players are not going to lose as much money as you think because they can go play in Unrivaled, get equity in the league, in a company. They're expanding their rosters. More players are joining. Returning players are joining. So you're going to lose all your star powers in the W are basically just going to go to Unrivaled, call it a day. And they're recruiting the college stars, the Juju Watkins and them. All them upcoming women, they're going to go to Unrivaled and go play over there. So it's going to be like, do I really need a WNBA? Then you got the NIL deals. Some of these girls are getting 6, 7, 8-figure deals. They don't need to go pro. If I'm getting paid $3 million a season to sit on a bench, why I need to go to the W for? I think Kathy doesn't know how. I don't think she knows how to run a business. I think she understands a business. But another problem is, I don't think those women, not those women, I don't think the people in charge know what they're doing. They're lost. They don't know what's going on. They're out of touch, out of tune with their players. I don't even think they understand the game of basketball, how the game of basketball works. But what needs to happen, the refs need to get trained better so they can know what they're doing. You need this is just a mess. This is a whole total mess that I did not see coming at all. All these players are standing with Nafisa and what she's saying. And what she said had nothing to do with her, with them losing to the Phoenix Mercury. It had nothing to do with them. Shout out to them for going to the finals. I personally have them winning. I have them beating the Aces. Let's go Satu. Let's go Alyssa Thomas. They're a well-oiled machine. I think they could win a championship. I'm going for them. But what she was talking about was just beyond the basketball court. Talking to your injured players, seeing how are they doing, how are they. Just having human courtesy is all they were asking for. These women should be getting paid more. I agree with that. They should be getting paid more than what they are. It's an entertaining sport. The revenue is only going up. It's becoming more popular. Like the whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark rivalry is a very strong strong reminiscent thing. It's looking very similar to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, that rivalry. Because it started in college and it carried over to the WNBA. Your star players, you need to pamper them to an extent. You need to make them feel more comfortable and like what they're doing more. But this season's headed toward a lockout. Everybody loses. Fans lose. They lose money. Players lose. Well, unless they're unrivaled, they're losing money. But Kathy need to figure out what she's doing. She ultimately need to be fired. They need to bring somebody else in. Because now players that want to play the W are looking at this like, do I really want to do this? Is this a league I really want to go to? We have our finals. Aces, Mercury. I got the Mercury. I'm gonna say they're winning in 6 games. I think that they're a better overall team. I think they're better offensively, defensively. Alyssa Thomas is playing out her mind. I believe she's gonna give Asia Wilson fits. Satu, I don't know what version of Satu we're gonna get because she's very inconsistent, but she's a bucket getter. She's a baller. I need her to stay on the floor and stop committing dumb fouls. Kaylee Copper. She's a bucket, solid defender. The Mercury are one of they take the most threes, attempt the most threes, and make the most threes in W. So Las Vegas has their work cut out for them because they're gonna have to run them off that 3-point line. But if they ultimately do win, I have Alyssa Thomas as Finals MVP. But yeah, let's see. Let's preview this Rams versus Niners game. Let's see, Rams versus Niners. It's gonna be a good game. Division battles. Does Puka Anuka get over 100 yards? What do y'all think? Shout out to the 21 people in the building right now. Shout out to y'all, man. What y'all think? Y'all think Puka Anuka? I think he's not going 100 yards in this game. Yes, I get it. They're banged up. The Rams are heavily favored as they should be. Let me see. Brock Purdy's out. Let's see who's all out. Jordan Mason is out. Brock Purdy's out. Ricky Parcells out. And Nick Martin's out. Yeah. So you got Mac Jones. Can't stand him. He was on the Patriots. Bum. Yeah. But you got Mac Jones. He will be starting. Shout out to the 23 people that's in here. Appreciate y'all. So you got Mac Jones starting. Let me see. The score is a 46. Total points scored is 43 points. The spread is San Fran by 8.5. To me, for them to win by a touchdown and them being as banged up as they are, that's kind of crazy. I would think the score would be a little higher, but it is a division battle, so I get it. Matthew Stafford, I believe, is going over his passing touchdowns at 1.5. Yeah. Let's see. Kyron Williams rushing yards 67. I think Brian Robinson Jr. is going over his rushing line at 19.5. Wow. Puka Anuka's receiving yards is at 94.5. Yeesh. Then his receptions is at 8.5. Yeesh. Those are the only props I personally like. Brendan Robinson Jr. over for his rush yards. I don't think Matthew Stafford is going to throw the ball a lot. I think this is going to be a very run-heavy game. Let's see, rushing yards. Yeah. This is going to be a good and interesting game. Shout out to the 26 people that's in there, man. Shout out to them. Yeah, I'm taking the Rams by 3.5. I got the score being 20-23. Obviously, the Rams favor. Top 10 list. Let me see. How can I do this? Nah, I know how to do this. I'm just trying to get you on my top 10 list, everybody. So bear with me here. All right, bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty. As you can see, my top 10 list. I don't like that. So, top 10 list. Well, I'm just going to do one to the list today, then two in the next show, next week, and I'm going to do the other ones. I'm just going to run down the top 10 players in the W right now. Let me see. We got Nafisa Collier at number 1, Asia Wilson at 2, Alyssa Thomas at 3, Deidre Hamby at 4, Brianna Stewart at 5, Angel Reese at 6, Paige Beckers at 7, Alicia Gray at 8, Kelsey Mitchell at 9, and Kelsey Plum at 10. These are the top 10 players in the W from the 24-25 season. I think these are the best 10 players. And when I do players, I looked at your impact on winning, your stats, what you did on your on-court production. I take everything into account. But yeah, these are my top 10 players for the 24-25 season. And I'm including what you did in the regular season and the postseason included. So again, I got Nafisa Collier at number 1, Asia Wilson at 2. I still believe Nafisa Collier is the best player in the world, even though Asia won MVP, even though I thought Nafisa Collier should have won MVP. Alyssa Thomas is number 3, Deidre Hamby number 4, Brianna Stewart 5, Angel Reese 6, Paige Becker 7th, Alicia Gray 8, Kelsey Mitchell 9, and Kelsey Plum 10, the Kelsey sisters. Leah Boston was an honorable mention on that list too. But yeah. Shout out to the 26 people that's in here right now. Next show I will have for y'all quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. And I might have the tight end list. But we're doing the skill positions in football this season. But you're definitely getting quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. Those three I would definitely. So tune in next stream for that. That's going to be for this season, of course, 24-25, going into week 5. I'm going to do my power rankings every week with y'all, and players are going to go up and down, obviously, who I think is better because of XYZ. When I do these lists, again, I'm talking about everything. Your impact on winning, your production, and your stats. All of that. And the eye test is sprinkled in there, but it's not. For me, the eye test is like 5%, 10% of the equation. It's not like a big part of the equation. Some of y'all watch the game with the TV off and it unplugged while sitting in darkness. So the eye test is one of the most overrated stats you can ever talk about. Everybody don't see the game the same way. Everything don't see what's on the screen the same way. Y'all already know the vibes. Shout out to the 26 people that's in the building that showed up to the stream today. Shout out to y'all. You already know the vibes. You can find me on YouTube, CrazyShotJosh, Instagram at CrazyShotTalkSports, and on TikTok, CrazyShotJosh. On TikTok, I run live every day. You come me about anything, everything. So make sure y'all tap in. If you see me on your X, make sure to show live, retweet, sub, all that good stuff. Tell your friends to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell your girlfriend, your mother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your enemy. I don't know. Tell whoever you want, whenever you want. But thanks for showing up. Tune in next week. I have another special show for y'all. You already know. We're going to be going over quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs. The 3 skill positions. I might throw in tight ends. I don't know yet. But we're going to be talking about those skill positions in football. My top 10 list. If you want to be on the show, comment at your boy. I'll gladly hit you up. No casuals allowed. If you casual, don't even bother. Because I'm going to skip over you. We ain't doing no casual. But again, make sure to like and sub on the YouTube. CrazyShotJosh Universe. Y'all know the vibes. Tap in the video. If you missed any of the video, show your friends the video. Do whatever you want. On Instagram, CrazyShot_Talk Sports. Make sure you follow me there. I talk sports there, more content there. You already know NFL, NBA, WNBA, soon to be hockey, soon to be MLB. We about to have all the sports. I'm about to have this on lock. And on TikTok at CrazyShotJosh. It is free to sub, to like, to subscribe. So make sure y'all do that. Show some love to a young black content creator. You know, I'm your favorite content creator's favorite content creator. I'm your favorite TikToker's favorite TikToker. I'm your YouTuber's favorite YouTuber. I'm your favorite guy's favorite guy. You already know the vibes. I'm out of here. Shout out for y'all 26 people. Show up next week. Make sure you here. You already know the vibes. I'm out of here. Peace.